Okay, let's be real for a second. Printers can be a total nightmare. But what if they didn't have to be? In this explainer, we're going to go on a little journey from the moment you pull that printer out of the box all the way to making it a secure, reliable part of your network. Let's dive in.
Oh, yeah, we have all been there. That paper jam that just will not clear, the totally cryptic error message, or my personal favorite, when it just refuses to print for no reason at all. It's that universal feeling of tech frustration where you just want to be done with it. But, it really doesn't have to be that way.
I mean, what if you could actually turn that frustrating box of plastic and wires into a dependable ally? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. We are going to unlock the secrets of your printer so you can spend way less time troubleshooting and way more time actually getting your work done. And that whole journey, it starts with the very first step, one that, honestly, most of us just rush right through, the physical setup. And getting this right is way more important than you might think. Let's start with just getting it out of the box. This looks super simple, but it is absolutely critical. See, to keep everything safe while it's being shipped, the manufacturers tape down all the moving parts. If you forget to remove even one tiny piece of that blue tape, you could cause some serious damage the very first time you turn it on. So really, take your time with this and be thorough. So once it's all unpacked, you've got to think about where to put it. Kind of like a plant, your printer has a happy place. It needs good airflow around it so it doesn't overheat, a really stable surface to prevent vibrations that can mess up your prints, and you want to keep it away from dust. Give it a good home and it's going to serve you well for a long time. All right, physical setup is done. Now it's time for the digital handshake. This is where we get your printer and your computer to actually talk to each other. And it all comes down to two key pieces of software. You ever wonder how your computer knows how to operate your specific model of printer? Well, that's the job of something called a driver. The best way to think of it is as a specialized translator. Your computer sends the document, and the driver translates it into a language of dots and commands that your printer can understand and actually put on paper. Now, let's talk about the printer's own software. This is called firmware, and you can basically think of it as the printer's brain. It's the internal operating system that controls everything, from feeding the paper to mixing the ink colors. It does all of that before your computer even sends it a job. And just like the operating system on your phone or your computer, this onboard brain needs to be updated. Manufacturers are constantly improving their software, and if you neglect these updates, it's kind of like using a phone from 5 years ago. Sure, it might work, but you're missing out on some crucial improvements and, more importantly, protections. So you might be thinking, why should I even bother with these updates? Well, they give you crucial bug fixes that stop all those random errors. They patch up security holes that could literally let hackers in. And sometimes they even add brand new features or just improve how well the printer works with the latest software on your computer. It's a big deal. Okay, so your printer is set up, it's talking to one computer, fantastic. But in most homes and definitely in offices, you need to share it, right? That's where networking comes into play. You've basically got two main options for connecting your printer to a network. You've got Ethernet, that's the wired connection, which is your go-to for rock-solid speed and reliability, perfect for a busy office. Then you have wireless, or Wi-Fi, which offers just incredible flexibility, letting you print from laptops, phones, tablets, you name it, from anywhere in the house. You just have to pick the one that fits your life. And the great news is, once it's on the network, sharing it with other Windows users is surprisingly easy. You just have to dive into the printer's properties, find the sharing tab, and with literally a couple of clicks, your printer is available for anyone else on your network to find and use. So, your printer is now accessible to everyone on your network. Awesome. But here's the question we have to ask. How do you make sure it isn't too accessible? This brings us to a topic that most people completely ignore, but it is one of the most critical. See, when you connect your printer to the network, you also connect it to the internet. And that, right there, opens a door we absolutely need to lock down. 61%. According to a report from Quocirca, that's the percentage of large companies that have had a data breach because of insecure printing. That is a shocking number, and it proves that printers are a major and very often overlooked security risk. So how does this even happen? Well, this infographic lays it out pretty clearly. Hackers can intercept print jobs sent over the network, they can steal data that's stored on the printer's own hard drive, or they can even use the printer as a launch pad to attack the rest of your network. And get this, nearly half of breaches come from something as simple as sensitive documents being left unclaimed in the output tray. But you can absolutely fight back.
And here are the simple but really powerful steps that hackers are hoping you'll never take. First, and I can't stress this enough, change the default administrator password. It's often just admin or password. Keep that firmware updated to patch security holes. Turn off any network services you don't actually use. And for those really sensitive documents, use encryption. We've covered a lot: setup, connection, security. So now let's just wrap things up with a few pro tips that will keep your printer running smoothly and efficiently for years to come. When it comes to those critical firmware updates, you want to do it like a pro. That means always backing up your printer's settings first. Only, and I mean only, download updates directly from the manufacturer to avoid malware. And it's always a smart idea to keep a copy of the old firmware, just in case a new update causes any weird problems. Okay, here is a super simple change that has a huge impact. Go into your printer settings and make double-sided, that's duplex printing, and grayscale the defaults. You can always choose to print single-sided or in color when you really need to, but this one tiny tweak will save a surprising amount of paper and ink over time. It's good for your wallet and the planet. And to solve that problem of sensitive documents just being left out for anyone to see, there's a feature called Secured Print Release. It basically means your job won't actually print until you're physically standing at the device to enter a PIN or swipe a card. It's a standard in a lot of offices, but it's becoming more common for anyone who just values their privacy.
So let's end with this thought. Your printer isn't just a simple machine that puts ink on paper. Not anymore. It has its own processor, its own memory, its own storage, and a connection to the global internet. It is, for all intents and purposes, a computer. And the real question is, are you protecting it like one?